Welcome to another edition of Hornbill TV Special Explainer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alnguli. The Naga people have generally always demonstrated restraint, either out of complacence or out of our natural regard for not really want to cause offense to our neighbors, to people in society, or maybe because of our violent history, we have come to truly understand that peace is more beneficial than outright reactions or violence or any kind of protest that stem from a sense of violation of our rights or violation of the space where respect should have been. Or what if we actually keep quiet only because we do not really realize our positions in the great scheme of political things, especially in democratic societies? Or maybe we do not know our rights. Whatever the case might be, the Naga people generally are not reactive. I'm not talking about a younger generation, though many of our young ones can be a little more toxic than required on social media especially, but that's an issue we'll talk another time. Now consider this: a political leader, no less than a minister of an important government establishment, making light of conflict and lost human lives. Had this been anywhere else in India, we'd already be struggling with widespread violence and clashes, death, arson, strikes and blockades and protests, and the police and military being called in by the government. That is not to say people weren't feeling rage, of course. By afternoon, the news and videos of the minister's statements in the assembly was practically everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you have already seen those. WhatsApp, or Facebook, Twitter, conversations and phone calls about what this minister said in the assembly. The minister can be seen grinning widely as he joked about the deaths from the human-animal conflict in Wokha district. Conversations expressing disappointment and questions being raised about our choice of leaders, jokes about education, leadership, skills, and of course, general expression of anger was practically everywhere once the videos went viral. So what happened? Here is what happened. Nagaland's Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, C.L. John, joked that people and elephants have started fighting in Wokha district and that only 8 people had been killed by elephants in this fight. Only 8 people in this fight. The minister was addressing the second session of the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly in Kohima on Tuesday. During the session, the Naga People's Front leader Achumemu Kikon had sought to know about the government's actions in regard to curbing the human-animal conflict in Wokha district. Ladies and gentlemen, the minister spoke in Nagamese. For those of you from the other parts of the country, the non-Nagamese speakers, who are wondering about what he meant or said exactly, well, I admit it is a little difficult projecting the absurdity and the sarcasm in his statement and interpreting it exactly in English. But mind you, in Nagamese, it sounds exceptionally bad. It sounds so bad that it cannot really be projected in its English translation. So anyhow, he was speaking in none other than the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, which is the highest symbol of people's representation and democratic welfare of the state of Nagaland. The minister had asserted in the assembly that the people are now winning the battle and that elephants had killed only 8 people, while people have killed 12 elephants in return. In this regard, the minister C.L. John asserted in Nagamese that the people are winning, so there is no monduk, no heartache. So if you are wondering what he said, here is the exact bite of what he said.
এতিয়া তো এলিফেন্টৰ ফাইটিং শুরু হাতী আৰু মানুহ Wokha district fighting শুরু করেছে শুরু করে না আহা পিছতে আমি রিপোর্ট কোয়াদো এতে আমি মানুষ পারি আছে এলিফ্যান্ট পৰা মানুহ তো অনলি 8 জনহে মাৰিলে আছে এতিয়া লগত কিন্তু মানুহ পৰা এলিফ্যান্ট মানুহ তো 12টা আমাৰ কিতাবত দিয়ে এইটো মানুহ জিতি আছে একো মন্দুক নাই এইটো এটা
You will see in the video the minister grinning widely as he delivers his sarcastic tone statement about a fight starting between humans and animals, ladies and gentlemen. The statement sounds extremely poor in Nagamese. It's not like the people of Wokha in elephants organize a UFC tournament to have a go with each other in the ring. You can also see that he seems to be enjoying the attention of his colleagues who, disappointingly, were laughing in response to his statements. You can see his colleagues laughing instead of maybe just leaning in and tapping him over the shoulder and reminding him, hey, this is enduring the sentiments of a community. And just remind him that he is joking about the loss of life and property. Reminding him that, hey, you're joking about their struggles, their heartache and their pain and loss. The loss of loved ones. Maybe somebody should have just leaned over and told him to quieten down. My colleagues wondered why the Speaker of the Assembly or someone from at least Mr. C.L. John's party didn't stop him. Of course, naturally, the outrage was expected and natural, ladies and gentlemen, from across the state. The conversations in the viral video is still circulating. The reason is this, I believe, leadership positions, especially those in representative democratic institutions, are positions that command respect, even if the person occupying that place might not always be honorable and respectable character. That is the kind of respect the position holds. It could be in the legislative assembly, it could be the government, bureaucratic establishments, it could be the church, corporate and business entities, or it could be even community organizations and student organizations. These kind of institutions are places that people, when they enter, they not just feel the aura of the building or the people there, they feel the aura of the respect that it commands. Citizens naturally and automatically expect that such people in such positions of power and responsibility should show some kind of grace, poise, personal integrity in appearance, dressing, speech, and even conduct, ladies and gentlemen. Even in the tone of voice, we expect that our leaders or people you look up to, church members, community leaders, church leaders, deacons, ministers, MLAs, police officials, we expect from them a certain kind of grace and dignity in their conduct. So I think that's one of the reasons why many people across Nagaland, they are feeling the outrage, they feel disappointed. Personally, there are a lot of ministers and MLAs in our government who I feel are genuinely dignified. There's something about them that's really poised and graceful and nice. Whether you like them or not or agree with them, I think personally some of our government leaders really carry themselves exceptionally well. The way they carry themselves is amazing. My personal favorites are, of course, Chief Minister Nifirio. No, I don't agree with many of his policies, but I admire the way he carries himself in public. Minister Jacob Zimomi is another favorite of mine, very quiet, looks very graceful, leader-like. Another leader is NPF leader Kuzolu Zonina. And then there is another former minister, Ketire. He also really carries himself well. Former Chief Minister S.C. Jamir too. And of course, someone from the district administration, the former Wokha Deputy Commissioner, Dr. Manazir Jilani Samun. He really carries himself well. Very, very leader-like and very poised and graceful. Also, you may want to watch how the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, talks and carries himself in public. It's gorgeous. So Look at the way they carry themselves: poise, grace, a dignified, respectful presence, a sense of being in control of themselves because they know that they are leaders, a sense of understanding about the burden of their responsibility and positions. They know it, so they are careful in their speech and conduct in public. They are polite. There is no hanky-panky. In Sumi, we have a name for these types of personalities, kichimitoi or itikemitoi, meaning in Sumi, mature, leader-like, responsible, knowledgeable, educated. Those are the meanings. In Lotatu, we call them ntsiesa, etsiesa, erangamesa, meaning very noble, mature, knowledgeable, leader-like, statesman-like. So they're similar. So you got the idea what it means to be a leader and having the grace and dignity of someone who carries the heart of a mature person and has a statesman-like character. What does caring yourself means, ladies and gentlemen? It means you take care of yourself inside out. You're aware of your speech and conduct. You speak well, you dress well, take care of your appearance. You demonstrate a quiet and mature confidence. You show consideration for people around you. You behave politely, and you deal with things with maturity, respect, and quiet demeanor. Etsiesai rankamesa itikem toi kichimi toi. So that, I mean, you get the point. And this is exactly why I believe people from across Nagaland and outside Nagaland now, they were unhappy at the conduct of some of our leaders there. Of course, just a little while ago, we got a breaking news from our Kohima correspondents saying that Minister C.L. John had apologized for his conduct in the assembly earlier, and this is the bite that we received.
Speaker, sir, before going to the resolution, I want to make some clarification under Rule 55. Ami the honesty ko jibo, your person Forest Department naka question answer reply kora tamde, statistic report diya tamde, ami kotha koi ja tamde. Amar victim family khan, rele amar sati khan kunba. মন চকুম করে থাকলে বিয়া পাই থাকলে আমি কে বিয়া নাপাবি আৰু মাপ কৰি দিবি মানে এইটো কথা এটা জানাই দি আছে আৰু ইংৰাজী দিবি ক'ব লাগে বুলি শুনি থাকে এইটো অলপ ইংৰাজী দিবি অলপ কৈ দিব I on my personal behalf apology to victims affected people and my way of communication talking for hurting their sentiments while giving a report yesterday. I do not mean any ill intention. I also sincerely and deeply regret and unintentionally. Thank you.
It's a good thing that the ministers, Mr. C.L. John, took responsibility of his conduct and has issued a statement of apology in regard to his statement earlier. And I think this is exemplary of how public leadership, all of us, we have flaws and we make mistakes all the time, but it is also something even greater when we make mistakes, we also apologize. And I think we should all appreciate the minister for making amends in regard to what he said yesterday. But again, if we really think about how society functions in the real world outside, the society is a very unforgiving place everywhere, Nagaland, the United States, Europe, everywhere. Or when we are not careful with some of the statements that we make in public, I think we can only say that the damage has already been inflicted and it is done. But still then, Mr. John has issued a statement of apology, and I believe it will placate some of the people and somehow let the matter to rest. For many people it will be difficult, yes, It is true that it will be difficult for them to look at certain people the way they used to because of certain things they said or did. This is the reason why good public relations are not just important, ladies and gentlemen. Informed leaders, especially political leaders who are aware of how things work, know that a good PR is a decisive factor in how they can gain or lose public opinion. Thank you for watching this Hornbill TV special explainer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Al Nguli. See you next time.